acid. So this is the formula of the chlorogenic acid, and you're being asked to draw circles around any chiral. Quick pause. Why don't you join our free online classes at megalecture.com, where the best teachers in town are going to teach you? Quickly connect with us and join those free trial classes. Center in the above structure. So the first thing that we're going to discuss is what is a chiral center. So a chiral center is when a carbon is it's been three hybridized, it's making four single bonds with four different groups attached to it, and it's capable of forming two different stereoisomers which are non-superimposable mirror images. So as you can see on the screen, these are examples of chiral centers. This carbon over here in the middle is going to be a chiral center with four different groups attached to it, and it's going to have two forms which are non-superimposable mirror images. So over here, we're going to look for molecules or atoms of carbon that are bonded to four different groups. So this is a skeletal formula. So let me put in all the hydrogens which are not drawn over here for clarity. Now, chiral centers are when carbon is forming single bonds. So that would pretty much exclude any carbon atom that's forming a double bond, like the one over here, or the ones over here, over here, over here, and the ones that are attached to benzene rings. All of these carbon atoms are excluded because they cannot be chiral because they're not forming single bonds. So the ones that are left are the ones that I've marked over here. The dashed lines are hydrogen. They represent hydrogen atoms which are not drawn on the skeletal formula. So this carbon atom over here is chiral. That's the first one. And why is it chiral? If you look over here, you will notice one different group attached over here, one over here. This chain is different. This side chain is also different. So this carbon atom is forming single bonds and it is chiral. This carbon atom over here is not chiral because it's bonded to two hydrogens. So that's excluded. This carbon atom appears to be chiral as well. And I'm going to mark this one. One group over here, this entire thing. The other is an H. This side is different. This chain is different. Then this one is also chiral. Four different. This side chain is different. This side chain is different. And this one also appears to be, it also appears to be chiral. Whereas this one is not chiral. It's bonded to two hydrogens. All the other carbon atoms are forming double bonds. So let's do a quick check. All of them are forming double bonds. So they're going to be four chiral centers in this molecule. So this is exactly what the question, draw circles. So you can go and draw circles around that. The next thing is write down the formula of the chlorogenic acid. So we need to figure out the formula of this. And let me add in the remaining hydrogen atoms as well. So I've added all the other dashes as well that represent hydrogen. So let's count the carbons first. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's an 8 carbon, 9 and 10, and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So there are a total of 16 carbons. Let's count the oxygens now. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So in total, there are 9 oxygens. And now we need to look for hydrogens. That's 1. So I'm going to count the hydrogens that are written over here first. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, and 18. So in total, there are 18 hydrogens. So hopefully this is the molecular formula. And the next part is how many moles of H2 will be evolved when 1 mole of chlorogenic acid reacts with an excess of sodium metal. So he's trying to react this entire thing with sodium metal. So how many moles, what is the question? How many moles of hydrogen gas will be evolved when it reacts with sodium metal? So the very first thing that we need to decide is what happens when sodium reacts. Sodium reacts with alcohols, and it reacts with carboxylic acids, and it reacts with phenols, the OH connected to benzene rings. In all three, it's going to react with the OH, and it's going to replace the H, and it would produce half moles of H2. So it would react basically with any OH, whether it's an alcohol OH or a carboxylic acid OH or an OH attached to benzene ring. So I'm going to look at this molecule. Here's a carboxylic acid OH. Here's a normal alcohol. This is a tertiary alcohol. This is probably a secondary alcohol, And then I have two benzene group OHs. So these are phenols. These are your normal alcohols. And this is your carboxylic acid alcohol. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So every time, 6 times half moles of H2 gas are going to be produced. So that would basically result in the production of 3 moles of H2. So how many moles? 3 moles of H2 gas is going to be produced in total. The next part of the question is how many moles of NOH will react with 1 mole of chlorogenic acid under each of the following conditions. The first one is in the cold. Now I'm going to look at the same reaction and we're going to discuss what happens when these things they react with NaOH. The alcohol does not react, and every time it's going to be a water molecule that's going to be produced. So the first reaction is definitely not happening. Remember, alcohols are terribly weak acids and they don't react with bases. They only react with very reactive group 1 metals. Carboxylic acid is definitely going to react with NaOH and it will produce a salt and a water molecule, and we can get rid of the balancing as well. And the same is true for phenols, OHs that are attached to benzene rings. They also are slightly more acidic and they react with NaOH bases to produce a salt and a water molecule. So these two are going to react, carboxylic acid and phenols. Alcohols, normal alcohols, are not going to take part in the reaction. So in the cold, this is what we're going to apply. So I'm going to remove the OHs that are not going to react with NaOH. So this one is not going to react, this one is not going to react, this one is not going to react because they are normal alcohols. This one is a carboxylic acid because it's attached to a C double bond O group, OH. So that's carboxylic acid. This one is next to benzene, so that these are phenols. So 1, 2, and 3 OH groups are going to react. So how many moles of NaOH? So it's going to be 3 moles of NaOH because 1 mole would react with this phenol, the other mole of NaOH would react with this phenol, and the third one would react with this phenol. And let's move to the next part, which is that on heating, now he's asking how many moles of NaOH would react. Now the only issue is on heating, remember NaOH is an alkali and esters are hydrolyzed when you heat them with an alkali. So the only thing that changes now is that there is an ester group, and let me mark that. Here you can see this over here, this one in green is an ester group. So these groups would still react with hot NaOH, the 3 of them, but the 4th NaOH would actually go and break this ester link. There's an ester link which is joining these 2 groups together. So this ester link is going to get hydrolyzed, so it's going to break in the middle. So esters are hydrolyzed, so a 4th mole of NaOH would be needed to hydrolyze the ester.